Have you ever felt like your mind is overloaded, as if disconnected from the real world, even when surrounded by screens, information, and noise? Richard Louv called this nature deficit disorder an invisible condition that erodes our mental health, our focus, and even our creativity. But here's the revelation. The cure isn't inexpensive. Medications or complicated productivity techniques, it's just 60 minutes away. 60 minutes outdoors, in direct contact with nature, can rewire your brain, reduce anxiety, boost memory, and awaken a deeper awareness of the world around you. Imagine every step in a park, every breath amidst the trees acts like a secret code that the body understands, a natural antidote to modern chaos. It's as if the mind remembers who you truly are. Today, we'll discover how something so simple and accessible can radically transform your mental well-being. And more than that, how this practice awakens a lost connection with the planet. Get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at a tree, the sky, or birdsong the same way again. Asterisk, the science and urgency of nature deficit. Have you ever noticed how the walls of your home, the glow of screens and the hum of modern life, slowly chip away at your clarity, leaving a fog you cannot shake? Richard Louv calls this invisible erosion nature deficit disorder, not a clinical label, but a mirror reflecting the disconnection between humans and the living world that sustains us. In just 60 minutes outside, something remarkable begins to happen. The prefrontal cortex, the center of attention and decision-making, quiets its constant chatter. Stress hormones like cortisol retreat, allowing a flood of calm to wash over your mind and body. This is not theory, it is the evidence of neuroscience, aligning with ancient human instinct. Every tree you pass, every breath of fresh air, sends signals to your brain that remind it of its natural rhythm. Blood pressure stabilizes, heart rate slows. Synapses fire in patterns that increase focus, creativity, and even empathy. It is as if the brain itself remembers the world it was built to inhabit. Yet most people remain trapped indoors, tethered to devices, unaware of the subtle decay taking place. Anxiety, irritability, and mental fatigue creep in without warning, disguised as ordinary life stress. Louv's warning is clear. Our minds are suffering because our bodies have forgotten the natural environment they evolved to know. When we step outside, even for 1 hour, the body and brain reconnect to a fundamental truth. Life is bigger than schedules, notifications, and fleeting distractions. This reconnection awakens both mental resilience and a sense of environmental responsibility, reminding us that our health and the planet's health are inseparable. The effects are cumulative. Each hour in nature compounds previous experiences, slowly rewiring neural circuits that control mood, attention, and emotional balance. The act of stepping into a park or forest is not leisure, it is a therapeutic intervention, natural recalibration for the mind. More than just internal benefit, being outdoors fosters deep ecological awareness. You begin to notice patterns in the wind, textures in the soil, the rhythm of water flowing, all of which build empathy for the natural world. Louv's work suggests that this empathy is essential. It motivates action that sustains both personal health and planetary well-being. Children and adults alike show measurable gains: improved memory, higher creativity, lower stress, and stronger immune responses. Now, the science is clear, yet still largely ignored. Modern lifestyles may provide convenience, but they strip the mind of its most essential nourishment: connection with nature. Even a small green space in a city and urban park, a tree-lined street, a quiet garden can offer a profound reset. 60 minutes may seem trivial, but the impact is measurable, cumulative, and transformative. The body remembers what the mind often forgets. We are wired for wildness, for green expanses, for air that carries life beyond walls and wires. If you continue to ignore this need, the consequences go beyond personal anxiety. Mental health deteriorates, creativity diminishes, and the sense of environmental stewardship wanes. But there is hope. 1 hour, one conscious reconnection with the earth can alter the trajectory of both mind and planet. Asterisk. Absolutely. Here's Block 2 in English. Continuing the magnetic, emotionally engaging, scientifically grounded style. Block 2. Reconnecting mind and environment. When you step into a natural space, you are not merely walking. You are entering a conversation with the world. Each leaf, each rustle of wind, becomes a signal your brain has longed to receive. Richard Louv emphasizes that this reconnection is not optionally, is essential for mental clarity, emotional balance, and a profound sense of purpose. The first few minutes may feel ordinary, but pay attention. Your breathing slows, your heart aligns with the rhythm of the environment, and your thoughts begin to untangle. This is your nervous system remembering how to be human, how to thrive in a world that is alive and intricate. Children experience it intuitively, adults often forget. Louv's research shows that young minds flourish when exposed to nature. Attention improves, stress decreases, and imagination blooms. For adults, even a single hour restores cognitive functions that have been eroded by screens. Noise and urban confinement. Your senses awaken in ways modern life suppresses. The smell of soil, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the whisper of water, these are not trivial sensations. They are neural catalysts, signaling safety, renewal, and belonging. Each sensory input strengthens the neural circuits that regulate mood, focus, and empathy. Yet the benefit is more than biological. It touches something deeper, a sense of interconnection, a realization that your actions ripple beyond your own life. Louv argues that this awareness is the foundation of environmental stewardship. To care for the world is to care for oneself, and vice versa, as minutes pass. Even small details capture your attention. A bird landing on a branch, pattern in a leaf, the way sunlight dances on moving water. Your mind begins to slow and expand simultaneously, creating space for reflection, insight, and creativity. Urban environments rarely provide this reset. Noise, artificial lighting, and constant demands suppress the subtle cues your brain needs to function optimally. Nature restores these signals, helping to rebalance the fight-or-flight responses that dominate daily life. Groups and communities also feel this reconnection collectively. Walking, hiking, or simply sharing a park with others creates social bonding and shared awareness. Neuroscience shows that empathy, trust, and cooperative behavior increase in natural settings. Aligning with Louv's vision of societal benefits from nature immersion, every step outside is a choice to prioritize life over mere survival. Over distraction and connection over isolation. Each hour compounds, rewiring your nervous system and strengthening your emotional resilience against modern stressors by engaging consistently. The mind and body learn a new rhythm, one that reflects cycles of life, interdependence, and vitality. Louv reminds us that this rhythm is not a luxury. It is a biological imperative for both mental health and ecological consciousness. Asterisk. Nature is therapy for the mind. Imagine the tension in your shoulders slowly dissolving as you step onto a soft patch of grass, or the subtle clarity that emerges when sunlight brushes your face. This is not merely a pleasant sensation. It is therapy encoded by evolution. Reminder that the human brain was built to thrive in the presence of nature. Richard Louv's concept of nature deficit disorder highlights that modern isolation from natural environments erodes our mental resilience. Anxiety, fatigue, and disconnection are not flaws in your character. They are symptoms of a deeper disconnection from the world that sustains you. In just 60 minutes, neurochemicals shift, serotonin rises, dopamine flows, and cortisol declines. Neural pathways for focus, creativity, and emotional regulation are strengthened. The act of walking, breathing, and observing becomes a reprogramming session for the brain. Subtle, yet profound. Notice how your attention moves effortlessly from one detail to another, leaf quivering in the breeze, the intricate dance of sunlight, through branches, the rhythmic sound of water. Each observation is a signal to your nervous system. Life is here, you belong. you are safe. This is the core of Louv's insight. The healing power of nature is not symbolic, it is neurological. The natural world provides the stimuli our brains crave. Balancing overstimulation from artificial environments with restorative patterns that recalibrate cognition and emotion. Mental fatigue diminishes as the environment gently guides the brain into a state of soft fascination where attention flows without effort and reflection deepens. It is here that creative solutions, emotional clarity, and insight naturally emerge. Even urban parks, riversides, or small gardens offer measurable benefits. Louv's research shows that access to green spaces reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and strengthens executive functions. This is evidence that nature is essential, medicine, accessible, free, and profoundly effective. Furthermore, being in nature cultivates empathy not only for other humans, but for the planet itself. Awareness of ecosystems, cycles of life, and interdependence awakens a sense of stewardship, motivating behaviors that preserve and protect the environment. Each visit reinforces a vital truth. Mental health and ecological health are intertwined. By nurturing your mind in natural settings, you contribute indirectly to the well-being of the earth itself. Louv emphasizes that healing yourself and healing the planet are inseparable acts. The transformation is subtle, yet cumulative. 1 hour today, another tomorrow, builds a resilient nervous system, a calm and creative mind, and an inner compass aligned with life. Nature is more than a backdrop. It is a teacher, a healer, and a catalyst for awakening. Asterisk the psychological impact of immersion in nature. Step further into a forest, park, or riverside, and you begin to notice the subtleties of life you had long ignored. The play of light on leaves, the quiet pulse of insects, the rhythmic flow of water. These details are not mere aesthetics, they are psychological anchors. Grounding your mind in the present moment, Richard Louv reminds us that the lack of such experiences leads to anxiety, distraction, and emotional disconnection. Modern life bombards us with constant stimuli, yet fails to offer the restorative patterns our brains need. Nature provides what no screen, city street, or artificial environment can: a return to mental equilibrium. In these spaces, your mind begins to recalibrate. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation, settles into patterns of coherence. Heart rate variability improves, signaling a reduction in stress and increased resilience. The simple act of walking, breathing, and observing transforms into a neural reset. You may feel an awakening of awareness, a heightened sense of connection not only to the environment, but also to your own emotions. Subtle anxieties dissipate, while clarity, creativity, and empathy expand. Louv's work shows that these are not fleeting effects. They compound over time, reshaping the neural architecture of the brain. Each sensory input wind on your face. Birdsong, rustling leaves acts as a catalyst for cognitive renewal. Your nervous system recognizes safety, your mind finds focus, and your spirit feels aligned. Even brief immersion triggers a cascade of neurochemical responses, strengthening mood, enhancing memory, and improving emotional regulation. Communal experiences amplify the effect. It's walking with others, observing wildlife together, or simply sharing a quiet park fosters empathy, social connection, and a sense of belonging. Louv emphasizes that nature is both personal therapy and a collective healer. The more time you spend in natural environments, the stronger this effect becomes. Nature teaches patience, attentiveness, and interdependence. It shows that life operates in cycles and rhythms, providing lessons about resilience, adaptation, and care that the human mind craves, but modern life often suppresses. Urban green spaces, gardens, and parks are gateways to this transformation. Even minimal exposure an hour, a few moments triggers restorative processes in cognition, emotion, and awareness. Louv's research underscores that every minute outdoors is a minute invested in mental health and ecological consciousness. This is why the 60-minute framework is so powerful. It is both practical and sufficient to initiate neurological and psychological rewiring. It offers an accessible, reproducible, and scientifically validated method to restore balance in a world that constantly demands more than we can give. Ultimately, stepping into nature is an act of self-preservation and planetary empathy. By reconnecting with the living world, you awaken circuits of hope, resilience, and awareness that cannot be accessed through technology or distraction alone. Louv teaches that healing the mind and healing the earth are inseparable journeys, and each step you take outdoors brings you closer to both. Asterisk, imagine for a moment that your brain is not a machine, but a garden. Each thought is a seed, each emotion a delicate stem reaching for light. When confined indoors, this garden withers, its soil hardens, its colors fade. But when you step into nature, when you let the air, the trees, and the horizon touch you, the garden awakens. Its new connections bloom, resilience grows like deep roots, and clarity shines like petals under the sun. Richard Louv's insight that the absence of nature is not just a lifestyle choice, but a disorder becomes painfully clear when we witness the anxiety, distraction, and numbness that saturate modern life. Nature is not decoration. It is medicine, architecture, and memory. It is the mirror that reflects what we are, and the teacher that whispers what we might become. To ignore it is to deny ourselves the full capacity of mind and soul. Science now validates what intuition always knew. A single hour outside can reset neural patterns, strengthen focus, and expand emotional regulation. Cortisol drops, creativity surges, empathy widens. In the language of neuroscience, it is a recalibration. In the language of the spirit, it is a homecoming. These are not temporary effects. It's like a muscle trained daily. The brain that meets the forest, the park, or the sky becomes fundamentally different, more alive. So here lies the hidden question. If 60 minutes outdoors can transform your brain, what could 60 days, 60 months, 60 years of conscious connection do? What could humanity become if it rebuilt its alliance with the natural world, not as tourists, but as kin? Perhaps this is not just about personal health. Perhaps it is the seed of collective transformation, a revolution of consciousness rooted in soil, water, and light. Step outside not as an escape, but as a ritual. Walk not as a distraction, but as an initiation. Let the trees remind you of patience, the rivers of flow, the wind of impermanence. For in those 60 minutes, you are not just healing your brain, you are remembering that you were never separate, that your mind is a fragment of the earth dreaming itself awake. Asterisk in the silence that follows revelation. One truth remains unshakable. Love is never hidden, and neither is manipulation. What we've uncovered together is not just a map of signs, it is a mirror of your worth. You are not here to beg for crumbs of affection, but to claim the banquet of authenticity that your soul deserves. Every glance, every gesture, every silence now speaks a different language to you. The invisible signs have become visible, and the fog of doubt has lifted. The question is, no longer does he love me or use me. The question is, will I honor the truth that my heart already knows? Stand tall in this awareness. Do not shrink to fit inside the cage of someone else's convenience. Love, real love, does not chain, it liberates. It does not drain, it nourishes. Does not confuse, it clarifies. You now hold the power to distinguish between shadow and light, between illusion and reality. And remember, the strength to walk away from what is false is the same strength that will open the door to what is true. Trust it. Trust yourself. Trust the signs. If these words resonated with your soul, let them ripple further. Share this message with someone who needs it. Leave your voice in the comments because your story matters. And above all, subscribe, because this is only the beginning of a journey where illusions are broken and truths are unveiled. The final choice is yours. Remain in doubt or step fully into clarity.